Hello, welcome. This is Sam of Sam Bookery. This is week 5 in my series Notebook to Junk Journal, No Printer Needed. We are making a junk journal with junk, literally, and a spiral notebook. This spiral notebook I'm using is from Xuxiao, and it is got beautiful pages themed on the 4 seasons. So I have divided my journal into a seasonal journal. Any notebook will work though. If you're interested in this one, I'll throw a link in the description, and there's a link to the playlist if you've missed the previous videos in this series. This week, we are doing something really fun. We are doing fussy cuts and clusters. So much fun adding cute imagery to our journals. So you'll go ahead and grab magazines, catalogs, tissue paper, junk mail, and a pair of scissors. I like this one for cutting big things out, but for doing fussy cutting, these cutter bees are great. So any kind of small detailed scissor will be great for this week's projects. So gather your supplies and let's get started. Let's get fussy cutting. Fussy cutting just means cutting around the edge of an item rather than just cutting out a big square or something. So I've got some junk mail here. I like this hibiscus. It's already kind of cut off and it's separated from the background. It's just got a white border. So we're gonna cut this out. It kind of looks like a kiss cut sticker when you leave a little bit of the white border. You know, this is hard to fussy cut. Let me get the whole thing out of the mailer and then we can fussy cut the edges. So you can either cut it out exactly on the edge, or you can do kind of like a kiss cut sticker, leaving a similar white margin around the item. It's up to you. So here's our first fussy cut, and I'm just going to throw them in this bowl so I don't get them mixed in with my trash. I've also got this great tissue paper, and this will add kind of like a see-through element as well. It's got these pretty ginkgo leaves on it. So I thought I would cut some of these out. So let's just get a small piece to work with here so I'm not making a lot of loud noise for you guys. All right, so let's cut some of these guys out. And I think I'll leave a bit bigger border on these because once I glue it down, it's kind of going to disappear because it's kind of a see-through background. So whatever your theme is for your journal, you'll want to gather some things that you think might be cohesive with your theme. You can look at anything that comes in the mail. If you get catalogs from different companies, if you get newsletters from like the botanical gardens or an art museum. All right, so here's our first little ginkgo leaf. Ooh, he's just curling up too, but we'll get him glued down. And so there's 2 different kinds on here, so I'll do this solid gold one as well. But you just want to go through and maybe pull out all the pages that have something on them that you want to fussy cut, and then you can sit down and get relaxed with a pair of scissors and just sit there and do all of your fussy cutting once you've narrowed down what you want to use. So I've got this Birds and Blooms magazine, and I thought I would see if there was any maybe birds or flowers in here that I can add. Look at this cute guy. So let's cut him out. Now, there's 2 ways to use fussy cuts. You can glue them down to the page as collage. And in that case, the thinner kind of the better because you don't bulk up the page. But if you're wanting to make elements that are fussy cut that maybe tuck into pockets, then you do want these a little thicker. So we want to glue this to something that's got some thickness to it. This page was in a Daphne's Diary magazine. It's nice and thick. It's plain on the back. So I think I will glue this to the page. Although these are some nice fussy cuts. So let me decide what I want to fussy cut out of here before I glue it down. So I'm doing seasonal. And I like this sailboat for summer. And maybe a campfire for winter. So I don't think I'm going to use anything Well, and that's the beach. Okay, you guys, I might want to use this. Let's find something else thick. Oh, I wanted to tell you guys too. We did stamps, faux stamps the other week. And I just found this, and you guys might have this too. On the back of your old calendars, there's usually like a grid of a tiny thumbnail of all of the images that are in the calendar. This is perfect for making postage stamps out of. You can just, if you have like the zigzag scissors or the postage stamp scissors, you can just cut on the lines and then cut around, and then you've got instant postage stamps. So I'm going to save these and grab my fancy scissors later and make some more postage stamps for the journal. But I don't need this side, and I think I will glue the bird on here and then cut him out. You can either cut him out and then glue them onto something thicker and then cut around it, or just glue them together, the pages together, and then cut them out at once. So let's just stick this bird on here. All right, now we've got something to work with. And I kind of want them just the bird shape, so I'm going to cut fairly closely to the edge of the bird. I think he would look cute tucked into like a shallow pocket. Let's see, let's keep his legs on. All right, and now we've got this little bird. And on the back is just this calendar page, which is a nice neutral. And now it's nice and thick, so it'll hold up to being put in and out of a pocket. All right, let's see what else we've got to fussy cut. So this is like a seed catalog for vegetables. Kind of look for things that are separate from the background. Kind of like this chunky carrot right here. Let's cut him out. So I'm just going to cut along the edge. This is fairly thick magazine type paper. And I think I will, let's see, we can cut the root. If I'm just collaging him down, this should be fine. Let's not have a flat edge on the top. Let me try to trim a little more detail in here. Okay. So here's our little fussy cut carrot. Okay, I think I'm good with the vegetables for now. Let's see what else we have. Here is a Daphne's Diary magazine. Oh, you guys, I wanted to cut some of these out. So let's do that. I like the little sailboat, super cute. And these we can color in with colored pencils too, if we want. So this was, I think, just an insert in the magazine. It fell out when I was grabbing the magazine off the shelf, so. We've got a little bitty sailboat. And we're gonna do this campfire. That'd be good for winter. You need a fire in winter, right? All right, and then I saw back here, look how cute this little kitty cat illustration is with the hat. It doesn't go with my theme, but it's adorable. So look for things like that in your magazines. Just There's no telling what you will find. Oh, look at these bees. These would be perfect. Let me try this page out. These bees are so cute. And if you want to have flowers in a garden, you're going to need bees. So these are great. I think these are just made for fussy cutting. You see the little scissors icon here. So that's what's great about these kind of magazines. They come with a variety of papers and images meant to be used, so you don't feel bad about destroying the magazine. It was meant for it. I think Flo used to do like paper lovers things too. So we'll just fussy cut out. I'll cut all of these out, but I'll just show you the one. All right, and so these would be cute for spring, right? We need, the bees are all out in spring. We have so many right now at our wildflower garden. All right, so there's that one. So fussy cuts don't have to be tiny. They can be any size you want. We're gonna make some ones bigger than this in just a minute, but let me cut the rest of these bees out because they are too cute. So I finished cutting out my bees. I just want to show you guys. These I just left one layer because I'm gonna collage these down. But these I glued to the back of the magazine cover because it was nice and thick. And so these I can stick into pockets and they're nice and sturdy. So that's two ways you can do it. And then I did want to show you, I also cut out some tiny flowers. You want to have variety of scale in your fussy cuts for the next step, because after we're done with fussy cuts, we're going to make clusters, and you want to have some really small things, some medium, and some large things so that we can have put together some nice clusters. That is the bees. Let's see what else there is in here, you guys. Ooh, here's a nice coloring page. But I'm trying to stick to my plants and seasonal theme. Here are some more bees. Oh, you know what I saw in here, which I thought I had marked, with some really pretty flowers. Here they are. And I wanted to use these for some large fussy cuts because you don't have to only have tiny things, right? We can have these nice long flower stems. And how pretty would this look going along the edge of a page, you know? So let me cut out this rose. So if you come across anything like super tall, as long as it'll fit on your page, like these are great to add. You don't want everything just to be tiny or like one size in your journal. And besides cutting out imagery, you can also cut out text. You can cut out headlines. You can cut out quotes. I don't generally do a lot of words. I'm a visual person. My junk journals, I don't do a ton of words, but a well-placed, well thought out word here and there is great. Let me finish this rose. All right. So here is our giant fussy cut rose. And I love this handwritten word rose here. I think that would look cute somewhere, maybe on a cluster. It's nice to add some text in for variety when you're making a cluster. So I'm gonna cut that out, and while I'm here, I will cut out Daisy and Poppy as well, because these might look cute in our clusters. So keep an eye out when you're trimming things out, even in catalogs or something. You know, a lot of the words are salesy, but some of the words would work just as well in your junk journal. And there's Poppy. So I will go through this and see if I can find anything else to add to my fussy cut pile. You do the same. Just make a pile of your fussy cuts, just variety of size, and throw some text in if you see it, and then we'll come back and add these to our journals. Okay, when you're all done fussy cutting, let's add these to our journal. And I guess a good place to start while you have all of them at your disposal is your cover, and see if there's anything you want to add to the cover. So let me take this elastic off. I kind of like this bird because I have just crazy variety of color going on the cover now. This bird kind of helps tie in all of the crazy color happening. But let's see what else we've got going on here. Got two of those too, so I can fit one inside as well. The bee is great also though. But I kind of like the bird going in that direction because it kind of lets me know, oh, hey, I can open this, you know? So I think I will stick him there. Let's just put him down. Just make a decision. There's no wrong place to put these. So I hope you guys had fun looking for Fussy Cuts in your junk mail and magazines and other places. I had to stop at some point. My bowl was overflowing, but I could have kept going for hours. Let's see. I found this cute little pink butterfly, which might look cute right here. Trying to decide. Yeah, let's put it down here. All right, let's see if we want anything in here. Like it'd be nice to have something in here as a surprise, but I think I might put a cluster in here because this is really plain. It could use with something kind of dynamic. So I think I'll wait. And I think this is good for the cover. And now you want to save some of these for clusters, but definitely the ones that we backed or that are nice and thick that are going to tuck into pockets. Let's see if we can find places to tuck those in. Like right here is a great place to have this bee peeking out, and we can kind of angle the tag so they're both visible. And then on here, this is a pretty flower, but over here, not much is happening. This is a great place to stick a fussy cut or an entire cluster. But let's just, since we're just doing fussy cuts right now, let's see. I like this. It's a little tall though. It's something just, this is cute. And not centering it on the pocket, but having it go off both edges adds a little bit dimension to this page. So let's do that. And this peach of the flower helps tie in these pinky peaches up here. Well, so like this one is nice. It's just purple, 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 which isn't really anywhere else on the page. So let's add this long rose here somewhere. Oh, how about here? Because we've already got some pink on this page. I'll put this here. And I've just got an artist paper palette. It's like basically waxed paper here that I'm doing my gluing on. So in case I go off the edge, I don't ruin my journal or my desk. So scrap piece of paper would work just as well. All right, so here's our rose. Maybe I will put one of our bees up in this corner. And of course, you don't have to put all your fussy cuts in your journal at one time. It can be like a work in progress, just a little bit here and there. And that's why it's nice we added that envelope flip to our journal, and we can store the fussy cuts that we don't end up using right now in that journal. So let's get to summer. I like this flower for the bees. I feel like maybe I should put that in spring though, because I did also find this awesome like picnic set with a basket of strawberries and it said Midsummer Party. So that would look nice in my summer section. Maybe here. And that just up top is like a title and leaves space for writing or drawing. And don't be afraid to have fussy cuts that go off the edge. This flat edge is a great place to just line it up with the bottom of the page or the top edge of a pocket. Like if you've got this pocket here, you could line this up here and it looks like it's behind the pocket. So don't disregard things if you can't get like 360 around the edge to fussy cut it out. Flat edges are okay. And then it's also, I wanted to show you guys, if you have a cute image you like, but there's like some text, you know, from like a magazine label or something going over it, it's not ruined. You can still use it because we're going to use it in our clusters. So I saw this bathtub. I'm like, that is adorable. And I started to cut it out. And it was like, there's some, you know, magazine text over this part of it. And I was like, well, I can't use it as a fussy cut. But when we start doing our clusters, I can just put something over this text and it's fine. So don't disregard images if they have something blocking part of them. Still cut those out too. They'll be great to use. So we've got Midsummer Party. Bees are mostly in spring, so maybe I will come over here and do flowers for the bees. If you can hear my dog, that's Humphrey, and there's a fly in the house, and the sound a fly makes drives him crazy, and he can't handle it. And so he yells until we come and kill the fly for him. So I will take care of that fly for him in just a minute. All right, flowers for the bees. And this really pretty white jug with lavender in it. So when I do fussy cuts, I usually decorate like a corner. They're great for, which how we got to one, journaling cards, these tags. It'd be great to add something, maybe just to this middle one here. We got this cute little bee. Just put him here. So I love to add fussy cuts just in the corner of the back side of like a journaling card or a tag or something that you pull out, and when you flip it over, you want something there. You don't want it plain. Like this is too plain. You want something to reward, you know, yourself for pulling it out and looking at it and like, oh, look how cute that is, you know? So this pocket totally needs something, but this is going to be a nice big cluster spot for sure. So like here, you could put, this won't go because this is pumpkins, but if you cut out some like fancy text, that'd be a great thing to add there, or just something cute, just so it's not plain. I'll just put this little flower here. Well, I'm tempted to go back into my seed catalog and get something, maybe, there's some great names of produce, you know, the different varieties. So I bet there's some great words I could cut out to put on here. But, so fussy cut. So how about under this flip? It'd be cute if something was here when you lifted it up. You saw something. This might actually be, gosh, I don't know if I want to hide this though. I don't want to put anything I super love because you won't see it unless you flip it up. But maybe we do this, right? So I leave the bottom visible so you know something's there. So when you flip this up, oh, you get to see what it is. That looks pretty. Let's do that. This is like faux tape with some lavender here. So don't glue on my journal. I always glue on my journal and then I over glue and it gets on my journal page. Trying to be better about that. All right, let's stick this here. Oh, but I do need to like line it up. There we go. So there we go. And when we get here, we go, oh, what's that? Oh, something's under here. And then this is a great place to write, and you can even write kind of down and around this. So we've got this page that's got the shallow pockets here. I thought that would be a great place to tuck in some little ephemera. Like we've got this cute bird. Where should we have him? Maybe peeking out the top here. That looks cute. And this sunflower down here. What else have we got? Oh, we've got the butterfly. Let's stick this butterfly up here. This bee is pretty large. I might be able to get him. Yeah, let's get him in here. There we go. Super cute. All right, while I was getting to the bottom of this bowl, remember we cut out all these pieces from tissue paper? So let's find somewhere to put these. Kind of pockets are a little shallow. But since we've got this gold going on here, I want to work the gold over onto this page. So maybe we'll stick this one in the corner here. And I think I better use the glue stick on this guy. It's really delicate. Oh, and I tore him. All right, let's see if we can put them back together. There we go, all back together. So now we've got that. Let's find somewhere to put these green ones. Probably not in winter, out in fall. All right, let me see if I can be a little carefuler with this. All right, here we go. And see how, look, the white pretty much disappears and you're really only seeing the design on the tissue paper. So this page looks like a nice place to put something gold. Put that there. And, ooh. Maybe we'll put this here. All right, and then I've got this one with a flat edge. That might be fun to put in here. I think I'll put it right here though. So I think the colors go well with this wrapping paper. All right. I need something for this pocket, but I don't think I have anything that small, so we'll go through and do that later. But now we pull this out this way. So I still will add something to these two panels, but now I've got something else going on there. And then I think fall is a good place to put some vegetables. Oh, I think I'll just put this right here. Now these fussy cuts that are on stiffer paper, these can also be like pulls. So if you want, this one will kind of hang off, but if you wanted to have a pull on here to show that this opens, or I think it will look cuter on here to kind of show that you can lift this up. So let's see, we want some strong glue for this. So we're just gluing it on the flat. And you can see the back side, so if you had something busy on the back side you didn't like, you'd want to cover that up. But mine was plain, so, and it doesn't interfere. And actually that color looks nice with these colors here, so bonus. And it doesn't interfere with opening the fold outs either. So that looks cute. This is still a big pocket. I need to make something for in there. I think we're good. I don't want to use all the fussy cuts up. Let's see what we have left. Some flowers, tissue paper, a couple of big ones, a couple of words, and a bird. Okay, these would be great. We are gonna save these for the next step, which is making clusters. So let's make some clusters. Clusters are just a group of things put together to form one unit. We can use several things for that. We're going to use some of our Fussy Cuts. I've got some of this large washi tape, some lace. You can use fabric scraps. I've got some other images that I cut out from magazines. And I've even got some paint swatches just left over here. So if you don't know what to use for clusters, I do have that free PDF download that gives you a list of ways to put clusters together if you need a little more guidance. So be sure you grab that. But let's get started. And not everything needs to be cut like perfectly. I was going to cut these out and I thought, no, so you want variety in your cluster. You want different textures, different sizes, different elements. So I thought we would just hand tear these swatches out so there's a nice rough edge. And probably that blue is not the best color, so I'll just tear all of these out. So adding in like old book pages or wrapping paper too is a great option in clusters, is you want variety and different actual textures and different visual textures. So let's tear this out. And a great place to find stuff for your clusters is in the scrap bin from doing the other projects in the journal. I pulled all these from papers I had thrown in the trash from doing the Fussy Cuts. So, because in a cluster, it's not, one element doesn't need to look great. One element is not the focal point. It's how the elements you put in the cluster work together that's the focal point. So you can really use things that are by themselves not very interesting. But when you put them together with the other items, they work harmoniously together. All right, so here are some things we have. Let's see what we can do. As you can make your cluster as a separate free floating unit and then find somewhere to put it in your journal, or you can find a place in your journal that needs some stuff and just layer everything into that space. We'll do it both ways. We'll start with this. I've got this image from my art catalog. This is our museum here, the San Antonio Museum of Art, on our river walk, and I thought that looked pretty. And I think we just need to layer up a few things with it because you've got the boat on the river here, but like not much is happening in this corner. So this is a place where I can add some other elements. So let's see what we want to put. Okay, I've got a flower. That looks cute. A paint chip might look cute because it is an art museum. So let's see how that looks. That looks good. And then this crazy neon yellow lace might look good. Let's try that. I love going to like estate sales or thrift stores and getting like people's old lace. This is like, I think it's like seam binding lace. I love this stuff. So this is great because it's got transparency to it so you can see what's underneath. Let me cut a piece of that off. And then I think it needs one other kind of texture, so maybe we can tear off like a strip of these numbers right here. Might be nice. All right, that's maybe too big, but let's see. I think that looks okay. I like that. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 elements. They're all different. And I think they all work together. I was playing off, it's a nice kind of golden yellow brick color that the building's made out of. So I wanted to work with those warm colors in here. So now I've got what I want. Let's stick it down. So let's go ahead. We can glue the flower to this paint swatch. And there's no right or wrong on clusters. Do whatever looks good to you. Add as many things as you want. You can always come back and add later to them. Let's see. Let's put this lace on the top. When I glue fabric or lace down, I like to use the Fabri-Tac. It's a much thicker glue and it helps hold on to the fibers a lot better than other glues. And it dries really quick so I can keep working. Let's see, and I don't like to get it on my finger, so I've got a silicone brush here I use just to push it down so the glue will adhere. And next we need to get this on here. So I'm just trying to see where to put the glue because it does overhang. But I think if we just start right here, that should get it. And it needs something here, so I might better, because we're gluing on top of the lace, I might better use this Fabri-Tac right here. It's kind of similar, like if you use hot glue, similar to that in thickness, and it kind of gets stringy too. So if you have hot glue, that's something else you can try. All right, and then we just have this to put on here. We'll try it everywhere else, but I mean, it's not bad here, but it's covering up part of the museum. So I think I will just keep it down in this corner. And let me glue both sides here. Glue my finger. All right. And there is a cluster. Now we can find somewhere in the journal to put this. Perhaps in summer. Yeah, I like this up here. And remember, we're trying to put more things at the top to kind of even out the thickness of the journal. I love this right here. I think that looks perfect. So I'm just going to put glue on the whole back of the cluster. Now remember, anything you're gluing down, if you want to make it a secret pocket, just don't put glue on one of the edges. And there we go. There's our first cluster. Super easy, you guys. They're the best. They're a great way to use up the scraps at the end of a project that you just hate to throw away. Now let's find a page that needs a cluster and we can build it directly on the page. I remember this pocket needs something. It's very plain. So let me pull this out of the way. Oh, let's see. We need our cluster bits here. Let me grab these. Add them to our bowl. These are going to be for the fall section. Got those already ready, which honestly this should go there, but I just love these white pumpkins. They're so cute. So this pocket definitely needs something, and it needs something big. So we've got this giant bird. We've got a giant bee. We've got this bathtub. I was thinking the bathtub, but you know, there's a lot of pink in this bird and it looks really good on this pocket. So I think we're gonna build the cluster off of this bird. And I think we'll use some text page to kind of break up. This is like a massive amount of pink. So let's break it up a little bit. Let's see, I'm gonna just tear around all the four sides. All right, already, look, super boring, plain. I mean, it's a nice background. It's got something, but now we're adding interest. And let's see what else we have now. Not sure the colors of the paint swatches really go with spring. Are we in summer? I think we're in summer. There's this rose. I might put in there, and here's the word rose. Let's see. Kind of don't want the word. voodoo in my journal. Let me go ahead and fussy cut around this rose because it's kind of light colors here, and the background of the rose is really dark green leaves. So I kind of don't want those showing. So I'm just kind of hand tearing the edge to crop out the dark green leaves. So, and get those, I don't want any sharp edges. Okay, so maybe we can tuck this rose under the bird. All right, I like this. This looks good. And I like this kind of coming off the edge here. I think it kind of blends into this. I feel like it needs a dark background behind it or something. So let me cut off a piece of this wrapping paper and let's see. Just so it stands out a little more. That might be too bold, but I think I'm gonna go with it because we are doing kind of, you know, if it's too bold, let's just cut it a little smaller. I will glue this on and then we'll trim around it and make it smaller. So here's our all right, so now we still have the bright pink, but not as much. So I think we'll do that. That's a nice balanced cluster. And so you do your cluster. If you don't remember, especially if you're using a lot of elements, snap a picture with your phone so you remember the order you had it in, because you have to take everything off and glue the background piece on first and work your way up. We've got 4 things here, and I'm going to try to remember because I am using my phone to film, so I can't take a picture. So I want this here, and I think I will just lift it up and add the glue on one side and then glue it down, and we'll glue the other side. And that way it doesn't move and I don't mess up the position. There we go. All right, I know I want this bird to touch this top edge here. So I'm gonna glue the top of the bird down and then we'll position the rose underneath it. Okay, and then where do I put in the rose? Like that. So let me put some glue on the rose. Tuck it under there, and then we'll finish gluing the bird. And then we just have this one. And you guys, that's how you do clusters. Super easy. I'll make a few more and show them to you, and then we'll be done. So let me show you guys the other clusters I made in here. I've got this one here. We just layered the bee and torn off strip of the book page and this little sailboat we cut out and a word and a flower here. And I did it up at the top. And then let's see, I marked the pages here. All right, here is my fall cluster. I have this from a seed catalog, some text. This is lace. This is a wide strip of washi tape. And something else from the seed catalog and some of the paint swatches just layered here in this corner. And let's see. Here, I just had this card. It said stay inspired, I think. And this is in the winter section. I had this little campfire we cut out. So I just glued the campfire over the inspired. So now it's like stay warm for winter. And that's not a cluster, but I wanted to show you guys that. And then here is that bathtub. Remember, it had some like magazine text in this corner. So I just layered a paint swatch over it and the daisy label, and this is a little piece of the tissue paper. So super easy, super fun. I could keep going for hours, but let's see how fat this journal is getting. Look, it's coming along, and it's not too bad, right? It'll still close. You guys know I make super fat journals. So this was a lot of fun today, making the Fussy Cuts and the clusters with the Fussy Cuts. I hope you guys had fun time too, and I will see you back next week. Next week is the last week. We are doing final touches. Looking forward to it. I'm so glad you guys are coming along on this journey with me, making a simple junk journal out of a notebook and some scraps. So I will see you guys next week. Have fun with the fussy cutting. Goodbye.